Okay, it's Tuesday, and we're gonna prep some Pathfinder. We're gonna prep some 7 Dunes for Sandpoint. Hey, what's up, guy? That guy first. Hi, that guy first. Okay, we're gonna prep some 7 Dunes for Sandpoint coming out of Burnt Offerings. So, let's get started on that. Let's see what we got. Turn the music down a little bit. Okay. Let's go grab our notes. There we go. Dooms and Dooms. There we go. All right. So we're gonna put notes off to the right, game off to the left. We got PDFs ready to roll. Okay. So they're approaching the end of Burnt Offerings, which is good. Last week's session was pretty rough. We had our game, our Foundry world, get screwed up by the major Foundry update. Actually killed our character sheets, caused all sorts of issues. I have rolled back to a previous save, so I do think one thing we'll have to check is the status of the dungeon, because a lot has changed since. Yeah. All right, so Aurelium is dead. You can disable these tips in automated. Oh, great. Okay. All right, so Aurelium died. Everyone else is trying to heal up. All the short stack goblins were released. All the babies and Nana were released. All right. King Rick Nugget, super dead. Goblin Dog. It's gone. These guys are gone. Let's see. Yeah, we played out like a whole, like 4 encounters without being able to roll off our character sheets. It was pretty incredible. So, but that's been sorted out, fortunately. All right, let's see. Everything else should be legit. It's kind of like leaving off where we were, which is good. Okay. All right, then we don't need to worry about anything else here. Let's look at our notes. Conversion work. 17 years later. Here we go. Okay. 17 years later, changes that matter. Demographic shift. New faces, fewer goblins. The goblin threat is mostly over. The lick toads and the thistletop goblins have been hunted down and pacified. Goblin PCs could now be legal citizens via adoption or work programs. Controversial. Some serve in the town guard. New refugees are homesteaders after disasters elsewhere, like Magnamar, Riddleport, or even the Runelords Rising. Small families and craftspeople may have moved to Sandpoint, causing gentle expansion and a slight strain on old social hierarchies. Okay. So, I don't think we're doing a fresh dashboard for this, but we could. Just to have that fresh dashboard ready to go and be re-explored. So, that seems kind of cool. Let me see if there's any newer art of Sandpoint. Sandpoint artwork PF2E. I know we have an entire book about Sandpoint. There's bound to be something in there. Let's see. Maybe we could find something. All right. Menu. View all recent files. Sandpoint campaign book. There we go. All right, so it's like 100-something pages of content. Let's see if we could find a good picture of just the city being special. Let's see. A lot of NPCs, which is fine. Maps. Maps of the tunnels. Smink. What's your situation? Female Goblin Bard. Goblin Sanctuary. Sandpoint long had a problem with goblins. Okay. That's kind of cool. Sort of like that. Let's see. All right. Okay. Goblin Sanctuary. Nice. All right. Add that to the notes. So then we've got, let's see. That doesn't actually help us find what we're looking for. Shroud. Who could they be? Who is Shroud? Do we have character art of Shroud? I guess we have it right here. Let's see. All right. Go here, active tokens. Grab doomed coat tokens. There we go. Alright. Like, I could have sworn we had Shroud tokens, but if we don't, that's fine. It could be any person with red hair. We don't know who it could be. Filter. Sharpen. Sure. Okay, drag this up. Alright, save out. Okay, doomed. Shroud. Okay. And then, when Shaylis discovered Eremiel's body, she claimed his cloak, his whip, and his armor for her own. Okay. So we got goblins riding around. We got Shaylu still alive. It's good. We got Scarhorn the Dwagon. What's Scarhorn the Dwagon up to? Okay. I think they're in the adventure later on. We got that guy. We got Marley Jeckers. She's an illusionist. Oh, these are all like baddies, right? Isandra. Oh. Okay. The Nettlewood. Alright, Rip Nuggets return. This whole like source book kind of spoils like a lot of the campaign. Kind of crazy. Let's see. Melgor Skrunkter. Cool. We did not get, in this entire book, we did not get another 100 pages. There was not another picture of Sandpoint. That's okay. Sandpoint. City artwork. Yeah, well, pretty much just, that's it. Alright, let's see. Goblin Sanctuary. Okay, we'll go ahead and add that in since they spared all those goblins. Alright, let's go over here. Oh, okay, just go cow. Alright, 17 years later. Well, I kind of wanted like a more updated, like, I don't know, art of the town, but I guess it's okay. for it not to have changed much. I mean, maybe that's part of its charm. It's like, didn't change much. Let's see. All right. In that case, let's look at what else we have for our 17 years difference. Goblin threat, mostly over, but we have Goblin Sanctuary now. So let's get that in there. Goblin Sanctuary. New refugees, homesteaders, leadership changes. Mayor Kendra died peacefully? Nah. Per the adventure, Mayor Kendra Deverin is preparing to retire. The whole town is abuzz about who will win the upcoming mayoral election. Okay. Sheriff Hemlock is visibly older and more cautious. He has a new lieutenant, possibly one of the original PC's kids, or even Shayless if you want to play that card hard. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We don't know if she's going to live or not, but Absalar Xanthus has grown into a more world-weary, burdened version of himself. His miracles feel strained. He's lost some optimism, but he remains steady. General Store Vinvinder retired. Shayless runs the place by day and by night. Well, we know. Gender fluid, vigilante, sorcerer, slut, hero of my heart. Got it. Taverns and brothels are slightly more refined. Brothels are licensed now with safer practices. Blah, blah, blah. Cultural maturation and weirdness. The Swallowtail Festival is now a tourist event. Slicker, gaudier, more organized, more expensive. Some old-timers hate it. Art and music culture has grown. Sandpoint has a Bard College satellite campus. Small, full of dramatic orphans. Scarny influence is minimal now. The last decade saw a crackdown after too many bodies were found in Jumper's Way. Public magic is more common. Witches and druids aren't whispered about. Give lectures in the cathedral, perform light shows at weddings. Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. The wound beneath. The ruined catacombs below, from Runewell days, have been sealed with divine and arcane wards, or so they say. The old light is now partially excavated site with protective sigils and gnome archaeologists who can't stop arguing about what it really was. Use these narrative flavor. The Winter Plague of 4716. A brutal illness swept through Sandpoint, killing 1 in 15. A monument was raised near the graveyard. Xanthus still blesses the dead each year. The Blue Meteor. A celestial body was seen over Sandpoint. Druids claim it was an omen of renewal. Wizards disagree. Nothing happened, or did it? Tower of Fire. One of the town's watchtowers burned down under mysterious magical circumstances. Shayless was seen leaping from it dramatically. No charges filed. I feel like Shroud is who you should put there. We do not have a stat sheet for Shroud. Okay. Let's see. One of the town's watchtowers burned down under the Shroud. A local masked vigilante. What hasn't changed? And that's the point. Sandpoint Cathedral still rises, resilient sanctuary. People still gossip on the portraits of the shops. The sea still smells like salt and old fish. And somewhere in the woods of the moors, evil still listens. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Evolving map of Sandpoint. It evolved alright. They added like extra shit. Let's see. It's not too bad though. Alright. Save as. Open. Put this guy in. just slightly more built out than it was before. Yeah, that's not too bad. Like similar vibes. Okay. Image contrast. Yeah, I like that. Feels fuller, I guess. There's more going on. I mean, it's not great, but it does show that the town's gotten bigger. All right, we'll go with it. So flatten it, save it. We'll do scene, Sandpoint, modern. All right, cool. So if we go back in here, we talked about we don't need to make a double or a duplicate, but we could, so we'll go ahead and do that. Scene errors. Complete card management is not valid. Oh. Oh. I mean, that's fine. Are you not able to do it because of the card management? Sounds like it. Okay. Let me look at the regions then. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Alright. And then we're going to go try to duplicate it again. Alright, that worked. Oh boy. Go in here. And let's see. First thing we gotta do, turn off player's ability to access it. Okay, that's good. Player dashboard, modern day. Alright, cool. Go in here. Image or video. We'll grab this. Alright, cool. And then down here, I don't think that a lot has changed in the region. We can certainly add more if we'd like, to sort of show the changes that have happened. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Shayless would be replaced with grown-up lady Shayless. This thing would be gone. We'll just clear all the actors. Clear all the actors. There we go. Okay. And then I'd like to be able to click on this tile and then go to, let's see, manually trigger actions, add alternative image. Okay. So tile trigger, here we go. We could make this take us to the modern map of Sandpoint. Let's see, Sandpoint. Sandpoint shop. 7 Dunes. What do we got? Rover's Hermitage, Sandpoint, Hinterlands. Wow, that is a much better map. That's pretty cool. Okay. I like that quite a bit. Okay. So, what can we do? Kind of capture that. We could screenshot it. Work. Oh, yeah. Why not? Alright. Do this. Go up here. Post that in. All Alright, good. That's taken care of. Alright. We'll save out. And this will be Sandpoint region modern. Alright, good shit. Let's see. Go back to you got burnt offerings, outdoor, arrow. Don't really need this at all. All right. Okay, so we'll go here, appearance. We will. Oh, this is from the actual module. Okay. Then we'll swap out for our own stuff. So let's see, 7 dunes. I think I put a 7, so it would end up at the top. Yep. Maps, Sandpoint. Grab this. And select update. Nice. Alright, then we can get rid of all these text boxes. There we go. That's a lot cleaner. Okay. Then we got this map of the town that is unlabeled, but after 17 years, the party will know all about this place. So, I'm more inclined to provide a completely labeled copy of the map. Man, that hinterland's looking pretty sick. See, I like this one because I don't think it reveals any of the secrets. Oh, it does say the pit, but I feel like people know where the pit is. Yeah, I don't think there's any hidden shit here. Let's check. Sandpoint hinterlands. Oh, so you could hide some words if you wanted to. I don't really need to though. Yeah, I think these are all pretty well known areas. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, so let's see. What about just a map of the town that's fully labeled? Is that at the beginning? Not really seeing it. Whoa. There's the tunnels under the town, which, you know, it's cool. Yeah, I don't really actually see the town with labels. Oh, here we go. Oh, it just has numbers. It just has fucking numbers on it. Ah, that's no fun. Okay. Let's go to... got bonus split map. We got 7 dunes. Got Sandpoint right here. Here we go. Sandpoint Jethro edition. Alright. Yeah, so it kind of just is what it is here. Alright. So we're going to do config, and navigation name is going to be Sandpoint dash modern day. But we'll keep it as Jethro edition. Alright. That's cool. I liked the idea of there being some development like outside of the city's walls. Be kind of cool. Let's see what we can do about that. Go here. Alright. Photoshop. And then we could just take bunch of buildings and like move them outside the town. Kind of work. Grab like this whole block. There we go. All right, and then move it like there, right against the edge. That's pretty cool. Just brave individuals that built their houses outside of town. So do something like this. Get rid of that building. Not 100% sold on it. It do look like I just picked it up, pasted it there. Like, getting it to integrate well would kind of be a pain in the ass. But at the same time, it would be cool to show, like, some growth of the town, just a bit. Tough call. Tough call. Let's see. Get a big road. Like this. And then we'll bring that big road over here. Bring it up here. There we go. Oh. Kind of connect those guys together. Alright, that works pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I don't really... I mean, zoomed out, that's not really that bad. Zoomed out. Yeah. I feel like there's some kind of, like, research building that's been built over here, so maybe we should get that sorted. Let's see. Which of these terrible shanty buildings would make a good research building? Maybe these guys. Alright. Okay, so they've kind of built a research center there. Yeah, that works pretty good. Do like that. Okay, go in here. Like, whatever this place used to be, we're gonna figure it out with the help of the PCs, because NPCs can't do shit. There we go. Alright, that works pretty good. And then we could put like a row of houses along the river here. Could even tuck some Richie Rich houses in over there. Oops. That could be kind of cool. I don't know how many Richie Rich houses we have to spare. We got these guys. Let's see what we could do with these. Alright. I just want to make the town look, I don't know, bigger. Like, time has actually passed. Let's see. Yoink. There we go. And then we get rid of that. Nice. Yeah, that works. It works pretty good. Alright, so we just have, like, nicer houses added over there. We got a whole nother neighborhood added over here. We got the little research center added over there. We could squeeze... What could we squeeze? Squeeze some more little shanties over there. Yeah. We'll grab these guys. And I know I have a nice convenient excuse for like why the town didn't really blow up that much in the intervening time, because you know they had that mysterious plague or whatever. So we don't really have to do anything with this, but I just like the idea of there being just a little bit more, going on. All right. Get rid of that. Okay. Nice. Okay, so that works out pretty good. And then, maybe an outer guard barracks type thing. Grab this. Oh, stop. Yeah. Alright, so this gets over here, and set it right against the road. Cool. Though it looks like the front door is the round bit, so maybe we do it like that. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Okay. So I think we've added enough to sort of show that the town is a little bit bigger, a little bit different. It's not for me. So I'm gonna save this out. Do Sandpoint modern expansion. Do map. There we go. Dash Sandpoint modern expansion. All right. Then we will flatten it. And then we'll save it out as WebP. Go. And then we'll go back in and we'll replace this one with our version. So let's see. 7 Dooms, maps, Sandpoint. We'll grab it. It's a big boy. Let's see what happens with it. Taking a hot minute to upload. Alright. And I'm going to copy the new URL because we'll use that back on the main page also. It did not make the changes that I wanted. Alright, let's see. Jeffro edition. Go in here. Nope, it didn't pay attention to anything. Alright. That's weird. Let's see, maps. Alright. Fancy expanded version. Yes. Save. Save. Alright, cool. So that has the extra bits and bobs that we need. Good. Alright. Then we go back to dashboard modern. And just like we updated that map, go ahead and update this map to be the more expanded version. Nice. Okay. Nice. Okay. Happy with that. Good. Okay, so now we're going to make these tiles trigger, or try to. So the trigger here is going to be set up for when a player interacts. Active. Yeah, sure. Allow all tokens. Sure. Trigger using image instead of border. Yes. Allow when paused. No. We want the actions. Okay. All right. So actions. Activate, deactivate, change scene. There we go. Please select a scene. Use active scene. Use triggering scene. Use this action. Select an entity. What? That doesn't work. Am I... Oh, okay. Did I do it? Yes. Scene, Jethro edition. Nice. Activate for triggering player. Okay. Update. Update? Player. Okay. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. Alright. Images. We don't need image setup. Okay. So how do we get it to trigger? Trigger using image instead of border. Allow and pause. When? Click. Double click. Alright. So we go back here. Hey, it worked. Okay, cool. So then we need one that takes them back to start. Alright, so go here. Nope. Yeah. And we'll grab this guy. Yeah. And then we'll go to Jethro's map. Alright. And then we'll paste this thing up here. Yeah, that works. And then when they click on this, same deal. We'll do trigger, allow when paused, when, double click, allow all tokens, token must have sight to trigger, nope. Gonna do action, add an action, change scene. Then we're gonna pick a scene. So we'll do this, that. Alright, activate, nope, leave it there, and update. Update tile. Alright, so if I double click there, I go here. If I double click here, I go there. Not bad. Alright, so another thing we gotta do. Yeah. Big. There we go. So now we're gonna make this one take us over to the map of the town. No, the map of the region. Okay. So I'm gonna go to Jethro real quick. I'm gonna grab this that we know already works. And then we're gonna go to where do they got this stashed? Sandpoint Hinterlands. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy down. Put him, I don't know, here. That works. All right, and then if I double click it, I go back here. All right, cool. So now we just need that to take us to Hinterlands. All right. Is there another Hinterlands to choose from? I don't think so. Yep. Alright. There. Alright, go in here, and we're gonna say trigger when it's double clicked. Controlled by anyone, allow all tokens, allow when paused, token doesn't have to have sight. All that seems good. Go over to actions, add an action, change scene, and then the scene is going to be that. Cool. And update. And update. And just to double check here, yeah, that's all good. Okay, so then if we double click on this map, we go to zoom in of the map. If we click here, go back here. All right, that's a nice interactive, modernized thing. Cool. What else do we need? We could start. I could start bringing out the NPCs for this, but what I also want to do is All right. So I gotta see if I have all 6 of the Rise of the Runelord PDFs. Let's see. Okay. I have a folder here called Rise of the Runelords. It has a lot of stuff. Got burnt offerings all the way through Spires of Zin Shalast. And it's got the player's guide too. So this is pretty cool. Alright. Let's see. I just want a general sense of like what went down, you know? Let's see. Downloads. Okay, burn offerings. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just need number 6. And then we'll be good to go. No, where's number 6? Oh, there it is, down at the bottom. Okay. Let's see. Grab these. Grab that. All right. So, ideas that I had for things that would happen during 17-year time skip. These would essentially be rare backgrounds. Is that what they're called? That your character could take. So we're gonna put rare backgrounds, players for 17-year skip. All right. So if we got these 17-year skip, we want the player's guide for 7 Dooms. I don't know if we've got that anywhere. Let me see. 7 Dooms. Player's guide. There we go. All right. Custom backgrounds, page 11. All right. Backgrounds. 7 Dooms, 8 new backgrounds that all have the rare tag. Seems good to me. All right. Let's do this. All right. Lost Coast local militia member. All right. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Under the stars, blah, blah, blah. Runelord Scholar. Nice. And then we've got Scarnetti Connected. That's pretty fun. All right, there's only 5 PCs. Hopefully we don't have a lot of deaths. So, I don't know. Let's see. Page setup. Just... All right, rare backgrounds for 17-year time skip. Okay, go into Okay, these are the rare backgrounds provided by the adventure for PCs. Forte. Alright, so what happened in Rise of the Rune Lords? Cliff Notes. Here we go. In Burnt Offerings, it's about Nualia and Thistletop. Sandpoint is attacked by goblins during the Swallowtail Festival. This is a cover for stealing Father Tobin's corpse. Nualia Tobin, adopted daughter of Sandpoint's late priest, fell into Lamashu's corruption and now wants to destroy Sandpoint, transform herself into a demon, free Malfeshkanor, a Bargus bound under Thistletop, use him to terrorize the region. The PCs track the conspiracy to Thistletop, defeat Nualia and her allies, and prevent the Bargus release. GM's Essentials: Sandpoint, Nualia's Fall, Goblin Tribes, Thistletop Dungeon, Malfeshkanor. Book 2, The Skin Shaw Murders, Zanesha and Greed Cult. A series of murders in Sandpoint leads to a Skinsaw cult in Magnamar. The cult worships Zanesha, a Lamia matriarch serving Runelord Karzug. Her goal: harvest greedy souls to empower Karzug's awakening. PCs kill Zanesha, but learn she has a sister, Lucretia, who continues the plan elsewhere. GM Essentials: this is the big pivot from local goblin drama to Thessalonian rune magic is waking up. Greed soul harvesting fuels Karzug's return. Book 3, The Hook Mountain Massacre, Krieg Ogres and Lucretia. Core beats: Fort Rannoch has fallen to ogres of the Krieg clan. The Kriegs are empowered and organized by Lucretia, Zanesha's sister. She continues soul harvesting in the region, marking greedy victims with Sahedron tattoos. PCs liberate Fort Rannoch, break the Krieg Ogre operation, and kill Lucretia. GM Essentials: the Sahedron rune, mark victims, soul harvesting escalate. Ogre shock troops and Lucretia are key. Book 4, Fortress of the Stone Giants, Mokmurian and Karzug's army. Core beats: Mokmurian, an enslaved, deceived stone giant wizard, is raising a giant army under Karzug's telepathic control. Sandpoint is attacked by giants. PCs eventually assault Jorgenfist, defeat Mokmurian, and learn from his death speech, that Karzug, Runelord of Greed, is awakening in Zin Shalast. His resurrection depends on soul harvesting plus awakening ancient Thessalonian magic. GM Essentials: first direct contact with Karzug's will. The scale increases dramatically. Giants, dragons, rune lore. Book 5, Sins of the Saviors, Runeforge and Ancient Arcana. Core beats: PCs travel to the Runeforge, a timeless Thessalonian research facility. They must craft rune-forged weapons specifically capable of defeating Karzug's protections. Learn critical lore, the nature of sin magic, Karzug's location in Zin Shalast. Only rune-forged power can bypass his immunities in his demiplane. GM Essentials: this is the prep dungeon for the finale. Runeforge equals Karzug weakness. The book explains how you can kill a rune lord. Book 6, Spires of Zin Shalast, Karzug in the Eye of Avarice. Core beats: PCs reach Zin Shalast, Karzug's ancient city, now populated by giants, Lamiakin, and worse. The city exists partly in the Eye of Avarice, a pocket of demiplane where Karzug is nearly resurrected. They must navigate the city and battle their way to Karzug's sanctum. In the final confrontation, PCs kill or re-kill Karzug to prevent his full return. GM Essentials: the finale, Karzug Manifest, Runeforged weapons matter. Everything wraps here. The true big picture: there was a goblin raid, Nualia's demon plot, Lamia cults harvesting greed souls, giants mobilized under ancient influence. Runeforge reveals how to harm a rune lord. Karzug tries to resurrect. PCs kill him, and Zin Shalast. Everything else is window dressing. If you only memorize one paragraph, Rise of the Rune Lords is about the Rune Lord of Greed, Karzug, returning from ages past. Every villain faction, Thessalonian, blah blah, is either harvesting greedy souls, awakening ancient Thessalonian magic, or preparing the way for Karzug's return. The PCs gather Runeforge crafted weapons, climb Zin Shalast, enter the Eye of Avarice, and kill Karzug before his resurrection becomes permanent. Yeah, okay. So let's see. That seems pretty useful actually. So let's add section here. Oop. Call this Rise of the Rune Lords notes. Okay. So then going back over here. All right. Gonna go, yeah. Clean up the formatting, all this. All right. Boop. Okay, so then here. All right. Okay. Grab all this. Okay. My group is only running burnt offerings, comma, so the first of the 6 books that make up the Rise of the Rune Lords series. Then we are skipping ahead 17 years to the start of 7 Dunes. We do not intend to run the remaining 5 books of Rise of the Rune Lords, comma. However, we want to acknowledge that they did happen. They were a major life/world threatening event. Big shot heroes saved the day, and the initial discovery of the first rune well by my player characters was fundamental in the Pathfinder society managing to defeat Karzug, right? What's his name? Yeah, Karzug. Okay. Okay. Read the Rise of the Rune Lords recap below. And assuming the PCs who finish burnt offerings might want to go on to finish the other 5 books off camera, help me create a few more rare backgrounds in the same style as the ones provided by 7 Dunes that account for let's see, child of a Rune Lord defeating hero. Oof, is it almost? It's almost time. All right, gotta hurry. Child of a Rune Lord defeating hero. Survivor of the Rise of the Rune Lords, comma, but de-leveled from age and inactivity, comma, coming out of retirement. Child of a Rise of the Rune Lord hero who died. There we go. Survivor who got de-leveled. Okay, and then other options would be too smart for adventuring. Started a business in town, comma, but now coming out of retirement. Let's see. Settled down. Local hero, comma, but gave up adventuring after burnt offerings. Simple, good life coming out of retirement. Or the child of that hero starting your adventuring career. Alright, that's like 4 new ones on top of the 8 we already have. That seems pretty good. Put attached is a recap, 6 books. That's a Rune Lords. Okay, so we're going to go here, file, download, plain text, current tab. Alright, go here, do Rise of the Rune Lords recap. Go. And send it. Alright, so now we need to, okay, we need to incorporate some other shit. So here we said, okay, my group, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Assuming one or more PCs may join the crusade that was Rise of the Rune Lords off camera, and that it was a major world event that started in Sandpoint. Can you give me a brief historical timeline of the last 17 years, taking into account the events of those 6 books and this additional time skip info? Then we go 17 years, and we do up here to this. Let's see. Suitable to share at the beginning of 7 Dunes to establish what has happened between campaigns. Nice. All right. Child of a Lost Coast legend background. 17 years ago, a band of adventurers from Sandpoint and the wider Lost Coast walked a path from goblin raids and haunted sawmills all the way to the storm-crowned Zin Shalast and the Eye of Avarice itself. There, they helped cast down a rune lord of ancient Thassalon and saved far more than just one small town. One of those heroes was your parent, and they didn't make it home. You grew up in the long shadow of that sacrifice. Sandpoint remembers their fallen champions with a mix of reverence and wary awe. Every festival, some merchant, militia veteran, or priest has a story about what your mother did when the giants came, or your father's stand in the ruins under Magnamar. As a child, you learned to smile politely at tales of glory that always ended the same way, with someone you never got to know dying very far from home. Whether you embrace the legacy or secretly resent it, you've never been allowed to forget it. Shopkeepers give you generous credit, but older townsfolk sometimes look at you like a living memorial. Some expect you to pick up your parents' weapon and become the next savior of Sandpoint. Others quietly hope you'll just live a quiet life, quiet, safe life, so the town doesn't lose another legend. You've chosen your own answer. You're stepping onto the road they walked, not to imitate them exactly, but to prove that your story is more than someone else's last chapter. Choose 2 ability boosts. One must be Wisdom or Charisma, and one is a free ability boost. You're trained in the Diplomacy skill and the Rune Lord's Lore skill. You gain the Group Impression skill feat. Reputation. Increase the party's reputation with townsfolk by 1 and reduce the party's reputation with the Scarnate Consortium by 1. The Scarnates have never liked how folk heroes and their families complicate proper business and politics in town. I like that. That's pretty good. Fading Foe of the Rune Lords. Once you stood on walls wreathed in giant flung stones, marched through the fortresses choked with ogres, or stared up at the impossible Thessalonian spires in forgotten places like Runeforge and Zin Shalast. You heard the telepathic whispers of a waking Rune Lord in your dreams and felt his malice reach for your very soul. You survived, helped end his threat, and lived long enough to be called one of the old heroes instead of kid when you walked into a tavern. Then peace lasted. Sandpoint rebuilt, the giants stopped marching, the Sahedron rune faded from nightmares into history lessons. You laid your weapons aside, perhaps at the urging of friends, lovers, or a priest who told you it was finally safe to rest. Years of good meals, quiet work, and comfortable routines dulled both blade and reflex. The world moved on, and you let it. But evil doesn't stay buried forever on the Lost Coast, and neither do old habits. Rumors of strange murders, cult signs, or Thessalonian echoes have roused something in your bones that never fully went to sleep. You're not as fast as you once were, and old scars ache in the rain, but you remember how it felt to stand between Sandpoint and annihilation. Whatever your precise path back to 4th level reality looks like at the table, in story you're a retired veteran hauling themselves out of comfort and back into danger one more time. Choose 2 ability scores. One must be Constitution or Wisdom. One is a free ability boost. You're trained in the Intimidation skill and the Thassalon Lore skill. You gain the Intimidating Glare skill feat. Reputation. Increase the party's reputation with the Rune Watchers by 1. They consider you a living primary source on the Rune Lords. And reduce the party's reputation with townsfolk by 1. Many locals are quietly unnerved that Rune Lord business seems to be starting up again now that you're active. Damn, that's fucking good. That's really good. Okay. Then we've got Retired Hero turned Merchant. You were there when things first went wrong in Sandpoint. Goblin raids, haunted glassworks. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Quest. Pathfinder Beginner's Box. Doesn't want to spoil the adventure for you? Shit. Alright, hold on. Dooms. Okay. Of the Pathfinder 1 box set starter quest. So I forgot that there was a dragon underneath the town also, on top of everything else that they're fucking dealing with. Okay. Black Fang's Dungeon. It is canonically in Sandpoint. Dungeon problem, blah, blah, blah. Local authorities, blah, blah, blah. The adventures. Young black dragon named Black Fang. Okay. How it fits into Sandpoint lore. Low stakes local heroics. Oh. If you want to integrate it directly into your community, it can happen years before Burn Offerings or early Sandpoint had a baby dragon issue event. Be a childhood local legend. Ah, okay. I know what to do with that then. Alright. That would explain any new heroes, like what's the big hero thing that they did in the meantime. That works. Alright. So retired hero, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So going back to this, retired hero turned merchant background, you were clever enough to see the writing on the wall and a lot of old Thessalonian stones. Instead of chasing the worst of it, you built something, a bustling inn, a dockside warehouse, a successful smithy, a bookshop that quietly catalogs every adventurer's tale for later study, or some other enterprise that makes Sandpoint feel more like a town and less like a battlefield. Gold from your early adventures, plus your keen eye for opportunity, let you become one of the town's small but steady success stories. Of course, prosperity comes with its own dangers. The Scarnettis noticed you as a rival or tool. The Sandpoint Mercantile League has expectations. Your staff relies on you, and beneath it all, you've always known that the only reason business is good is because somebody else kept the world from ending, and there's no guarantee it won't try again. Now trouble's back in town. Maybe your profits are threatened. Maybe an old friend sent a worrying letter. Maybe cathedral bells rang in a way that made the hairs on your neck stand up. You still have the mind of an adventurer, even if your hands smell more of ink, sawdust, or spices these days. Time to dust off those skills. Remember that a ledger and a longsword aren't so different. They both decide who gets to eat tomorrow. That's pretty good. Intelligence or charisma. You're trained in society skill and mercantile lore skill. You gain the bargain hunter skill feat. Increase the party's reputation with the Mercantile League. Reduce the party with Scarnetti. Reputation with Scarnetti. And then the last one... Hearthbound hero background. Rare. When goblins first tried to burn Sandpoint down and darker forces moved under the streets, you answered the call. Maybe you were part of the original band that stopped Nualia's plot and slew the Barghest under Thistletop, or maybe you're the child of one of those early defenders raised on stories of festival fires and desperate rooftop battles. Either way, your life could have become one long chain of dungeons, dragons, and distant wars. Instead, you chose or inherited a quieter ending. You settled. A small farm outside of town, a fishing boat, and a slip on the Sandpoint docks, a stall in the market, a seat at a tavern hearth where you tell the same three stories about back when the goblins came through the North Gate to anyone who will listen. Or you're the kid who grew up watching a parent with that history attempt to be nothing more than a good neighbor with a worn-down sword over the mantle and a habit of checking the docks twice. Sandpoint hasn't forgotten you, or the person you're descended from. Folks send for you when a wolf stalks the sheep, when something's wrong in the barn, when a child swears they saw strange lights out by paupers' graves. Most days, the worst you face is a drunk, a sick cow, or a wayward goblin too foolish to remember the town's past. But the skills that saved lives then are the same ones you use to keep food on the table now. With omens gathering and old powers stirring again, you can feel the past nudge you, or your parents' legacy nudging you. From the comfort of hearth and field back towards the road, you know better than most that if Sandpoint falls, there's no such thing as a safe, simple life anywhere the Sword Coast. Choose Constitution or Wisdom. You train in survival and farming lore, even if your farm is more like a kitchen garden or a small holding inside town. You gain the Forager skill feat. Increase the party's reputation with townsfolk by 1, and lower it with the Bunyet Club by 1. That's pretty cool. One more. This will be exclusive to anyone who decides to make a new PC that is a goblin. This is a goblin hero from Goblin Town, Goblin Sanctuary. How do you spell sanctuary? S-A-N, sanctuary that is trying to prove the worth of their people and earn the respect and acceptance of Sandpoint, despite so many years of aggravated conflict and tension. Those are good. I think the last one is kind of the weakest one overall. I feel like you should also get some money. That's kind of cool. But, you know, it's fine. I might actually just add that real quick. Hearthbound hero, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to do bonus. You begin play with a tidy nest egg of 250 GP. There we go. All right. And then, let's see. While that's going, Pathfinder beginner's box, blah, blah, blah. We got that covered. Okay. 17-year. All right, here we go. Here's the timeline. Sandpoint today. All right. Gonna put this up at the top. All right. Whoa. There we go. And beneath it all, the memory of the Rune Lord Crusade hangs over Varissia like a half-forgotten storm. 17 years ago, heroes changed the world. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Nice. That's good. That's good. Goblin background. Goblin Sanctuary Scout. For as long as anyone in Sandpoint can remember, the word goblin has meant shrieks in the night, burning dog slicers, and wild-eyed raiders lured by song and slaughter. Books were eaten, fires were started, and far too many toes were lost to goblin logic. The Swallowtail Festival raid cemented that fear for a generation. But things change, quietly, cautiously. After the Thistletop tribes collapsed and the long peace that followed, a few brave goblins drifted towards the coast, not as raiders, but as runaways, tinkers, scouts, or misfits too curious or too stubborn to cling to their old ways. Eventually, a handful of these exiles found refuge in a hidden grotto beneath Sandpoint's cliffs, the so-called Goblin Sanctuary. Under the guidance of Smink, a wide-eyed optimist who believes goblins can learn better than the world expects. You are one of Smink's little band, a goblin who wants something rare and dangerous, respect. You spent years watching Sandpoint from the shadows, how it fears, how it grieves, how it rebuilds, how it laughs. You learn that the townsfolk are not all dog kickers and torch wavers, but also that forgiveness is fragile. Every theft, every fire, every mean-spirited prank from any goblin anywhere threatens the safety of all of you. Now, with dark omens stirring and Sandpoint once again needing heroes, Smink has urged you toward a bold path. Prove your worth in the open. Stand with the tall folk. Fight for the town that still flinches at your shadow. Show them that goblins can be more than a punchline or a nightmare, maybe even something like neighbors. You know winning their trust will be harder than killing monsters, and one wrong move could undo everything. But your heart burns with the kind of courage goblins rarely get credit for, and you intend to make the whole Lost Coast see it. Choose dexterity or charisma. You trained in stealth and goblin Sandpoint relations lore skill. You gained the experienced smuggler skill feat. You knew every bolt hole, drain pipe, and shadowed path between the sanctuary and the town above. Increase the party's reputation with townsfolk and reduce it with the town watch. Oh, that's real. That's maybe the best one. That's fantastic. Okay, so we'll go down here and we'll add that to the rare backgrounds for time skip, and we're done. All right, I'm gonna go get some dinner. I'll be running my game at 8:30. We don't stream it, but the recordings do go up on the Google Drive for Patreon patrons who are interested in watching them. Someday, when the entire campaign is finished, we'll throw everything up onto YouTube. So if you don't mind waiting a couple of years, you can watch it then. I'll be back Thursday to do some prep for Skyhaven. We'll be running Skyhaven on Thursday. Might do a stream Friday night to talk about Foundry mods. Saturday night, we've got a mini-series going on. It's about 10 to 12 sessions long. It is The Harrowing. I'm streaming it. GM Cryptic Muffin / Leah is running it. It's really fun. I hope everybody has a great night, a great week, and I'll see you next time.